All right, let's get into it. The Cardano ecosystem has always been busy, right? But what we're seeing lately, it's not just activity, it's a full-on surge of development. So we're going to dive in and see what's really going on behind all the headlines.
I mean, it feels like everywhere you turn, there's a new partnership, a product launch, a huge technical upgrade being announced. Honestly, it's kind of hard to keep up with it all, but it points to one very clear thing: serious momentum. But beyond all the hype and the announcements, what does this progress actually look like on the ground? We're going to peel back the layers and look at the real tangible results, the code that's actually shipping, and the value that's being created as we speak. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the strategic partnerships, how Cardano is building bridges to the wider crypto world. Second, we'll talk about shipping code, the projects that are actually launching. Third, the financial engine, how these protocols are making real money. And finally, we'll explore the expanding universe of NFTs, factions, and even mining. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, building bridges. Because look, a healthy ecosystem can't live in a bubble, right? It has to reach out, connect, and build with others. And one of the biggest bridges we're seeing being built is between Atlas Protocol and Midnight. Now, Atlas is aiming to be a total powerhouse in cross-chain DeFi. That's finance that works seamlessly across different blockchains. And they're doing it with the full backing of the Midnight development team. That, right there, is a massive vote of confidence. And listen, this is not just some handshake deal for a press release. Atlas is getting direct access to Midnight's core developers, support on their code, help with marketing, and even introductions to VCs. The big takeaway here is that this is a deeply strategic collaboration. It's designed for one thing and one thing only: to accelerate growth fast. And this quote just perfectly captures their ambition. The vision is for Atlas to be, and I quote, true to its name, carrying the weight of decentralized finance on its shoulders. Yeah, they are definitely not thinking small. Now let's talk about another major bridge. CSwap is reaching out to a totally different ecosystem by partnering with Saga DAO. And for those who don't know, this is the biggest community-led organization on Solana. We're talking about a direct pipeline between two massive, passionate communities. And the scale here is just staggering. We're talking about tapping into a community of over 30,000 active members and potentially 200,000 mobile users. This is exactly how you bring the next wave of people into the Cardano DeFi world. All right, on to Section 2, shipping code. Because partnerships are fantastic, but you need real working products to back them up. So let's look at the projects that are actually moving from the drawing board to the real world. And the timeline is getting packed. Just this week, Strike Finance is dropping its testnet date. Tomorrow, Pulse announces its official mainnet date. And then, the big one, Pulse officially launches on the Cardano mainnet on November 24th. Things are definitely heating up. This Pulse launch is a really key milestone for the whole ecosystem. It's being talked about as the next layer of DeFi on Cardano, and having that hard date, November 24th, it just makes it all feel so much more real. And it's not just Pulse. Progress is happening all over the place. You've got Strike Finance rebuilding contracts from scratch to support Solana and Ethereum. Fluid Tokens V3 is now live with verifiable data from OrcFax. Indigo's stablecoin, IUSD, proved it was rock solid by staying fully collateralized during all that recent market craziness. And Surge is tuning up its strategy fund. This is deep, important technical work happening across the board. The team at Surge put it perfectly. They called this period the calm before the storm. And that's exactly what it feels like. All these technical upgrades are just setting the stage for what's about to come next. A whole lot of financial activity. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, the financial engine. Let's follow the money and see how these protocols are actually performing. So let's just start with this huge number from Surf. Holders of their token are seeing a 24% APY. Now, what's so crucial here is that this isn't some made-up reward from printing more tokens. This is a real yield, generated purely from actual protocol revenue. That's the real deal. And get this. That revenue engine is on track to pay out 650,000 ADA a year. That performance easily puts Surf in the top tier of revenue-generating apps on Cardano. And the best part? They pay out 100% of it to their holders. Now let's look at another one, Angel Finance. In just 1 week, they've generated over 20,000 ADA in total profit. It just goes to show you that all these different revenue streams are starting to really flourish. And I love this breakdown. Of that 20,000 ADA profit, look, over 16,000 goes straight back to the token holders. The other 5,000? It gets compounded right back into the protocol to fuel future growth. It's smart, it's sustainable, it's transparent. It shows these protocols are becoming real, revenue-generating businesses, and that's a huge sign of a maturing ecosystem. Okay, time for our final section, expanding the universe. This is where we get to see the really creative, experimental, and community-driven side of Cardano just shine. You gotta check this out. The Perps NFT collection has broken out into 3 unique factions, each with its own incredible backstory. You've got the Crashers, these punk-fueled brawlers, the Astroschism, who are like ghostly wanderers, and the Genovolt, a group of experimental, lab-grown perps. This isn't just about collecting a JPEG. This is about world building. And being a holder comes with some serious perks. We're talking unique one-of-one NFTs for the top holders in a faction, signed prints, even collector's edition figures. Plus, every single mint gets an allocation of the perp token. And just to show you how this universe keeps expanding, a totally different project, Melting Moons, is launching its first Bitcoin miner next week. I mean, talk about branching out into a new frontier. But here's the kicker, the deep economic link that ties this all together. Almost half, nearly 45% of the entire perp token supply is held inside this NFT collection. That creates this powerful, symbiotic relationship where the art, the community, and the financial value of the token are all completely intertwined. So, when you put it all together, you've got bridges connecting to other major blockchains, you have financial engines that are generating real yield, and you have this creative layer that is absolutely bursting with energy. The foundation is clearly solid, so the only real question left is, which of these areas is going to ignite first and see the most explosive growth? Well, that's something we're all going to be watching very closely.